Hi,
Hey, Yona, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm just gonna give it a minute before we start. Some people tend to hop in the first few minutes here, and then we'll get going. My settings are set. Hey, Kathy, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm may have to leave a little early.
You're fine. It'll be recorded, so if you have to pop out, you can
Okay.
catch the recording later.
Okay. I'm in Shasta, by the way.
Oh, awesome, awesome.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm gonna just give it a minute here, and then we'll get started talking about abundance.
Yeah.
I think I changed the setting here so people can just hop in. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to mute everybody here and then we'll go from there. Okay. Well, thank you for participating in this one. Abundance is a right. This is a continuation of the one that we already have on the Substack. There's an activation that's already available with several hours about abundance. But my guides were like, hey, it's time to start doing this again and kind of talk about it every once in a while because typically people end up having questions, curiosities, and it just refreshes the energy too. So they were talking to me about that, and we have some new things to share about preparing for the future and different things of that nature. Um, for anybody that's watching this afterwards, once the recording is posted, there is a channeled message from my Lyran guide who taught me about this on Substack, and that'll be linked. If you're watching the recording, I recommend watching the channel before you watch this session. Um, so let's just start talking about abundance in general, and we'll treat this typically like a normal event that we've done where I'll talk for a while and then we'll do a Q&A after. There won't be any meditation or anything like that, but there is a kit. So the activation does have a kit with exercises, with questions and things to get your mind thinking about some of the topics that we talk about in this session. The key here is that abundance within the spiritual community has turned into something that my guides started calling it a spiritual manifestation pyramid scheme. This idea that people pay for courses, they pay for meditations, they pay for all kinds of stuff regarding manifestation. That's typically the word people use is manifestation. How to manifest, how to bring things into your life, change your life, bring in wealth and money and that type of thing to build a better experience. But what happened is as I was working on this, I did very little work with people, with humans who are in this field, but I was paying attention to different things over the years. And Atreyu, a Lyran is a galactic being, a lion humanoid type being. He came and he said, we're going to work on shifting your abundance over the next 2 years. There were a few guides before him, but I worked heavily with him in understanding what the true nature of abundance really meant. And we started paying attention to the community and realizing that a lot of the people in the community that teach manifestation, they're showing, especially with social media, with how social media has grabbed and with photography, you can post something and kind of control narratives and create impressions of what you want people to believe about yourself, that type of thing. What we saw is that a lot of the manifestation people are showing a lot of wealth information, but my guides went, pay attention to this as they were teaching me abundance. They were like, pay attention to this, and started seeing how the teachers are showing a storyline of wealth, of money, of cars and houses and all of these different things. And they go, okay, now pay attention to how they're getting that. And what it brought into my awareness was that people were becoming very wealthy off of teaching people manifestation techniques to do what they did. But it's a pyramid scheme. It's they're teaching people, and then those people are teaching people manifestation, and those people are teaching people manifestation. And if you actually were to take the person and pull them out of that system, say their whole system collapses. What my guides were expressing is that if you say something happens and the whole system collapses, the classes go, they disappear overnight, something occurs to where it breaks them out of that existence, they go, they wouldn't actually be abundant. And when I started asking why, they go, because they built a system, a pyramid like system to support the perception of wealth. And what abundance is really about is your inner self, your inner experience, your inner expression. If you pull that away, they haven't actually done the inner work to maintain calm, to maintain authenticity, to maintain confidence that they will always be provided for, different things that we talk about when we talk about abundance. And what happens is the forced manifestation is it's a very masculine energy. It can be done. We can manifest, we can force things, we can create and build wealth. But the idea of wealth being abundance is a very narrow three-dimensional way of thinking about the experience when it comes back to our energy field. People see money and they think the money is the abundance. And what they started explaining is that money can be a form of abundance, but really what it is it's energy within your energy field. We all have an energy field that is powerful and manifesting for us in every moment based on our belief systems, based on what we know and feel about ourselves, based on where we put our energy and focus. Our energy field is like a magnet in bringing things to us at every moment. And they go, the money is a form of wealth, a form of abundance, but it's a very narrow minded experience, very singular focus of experience because of the way our system is built. Our system is built on economies, it's built on money exchanging hands, it's built on teacher student dynamics. And so what happens is people start thinking money is the experience of wealth and abundance, which isn't really the case. Our spiritual energy is our abundance. Money is a representation of some energy we've taken in our field and unlocked in the three-dimensional world. And what they always reminded me of is think about all of the people that I knew in my life. Maybe you know some in your life, and we can even see this in the dynamics with the rich and famous. How many people have tons and tons and tons of money, but they're not happy. They struggle with addiction. They struggle with friends, family. They're constantly working in workaholics, or they have all of these other different, essentially, struggles in their life where the money has opened up financial abundance, but hasn't given them any sort of abundance in their experience of other things. And that's where we had to redefine what abundance meant. Abundance to me used to mean money, used to mean your bank account. You look at the bank account, if it was low, it's like, why, especially doing manifestation work, people are doing manifestation techniques, vision boards, meditations, affirmations, all kinds of different things. But then the bank account doesn't change. And even myself during this process thought like, oh, it's not working. What am I doing wrong? Why is the money not coming in? Why is the wealth not coming in? And we had to change the definition of what abundance meant and what money means. And money isn't evil either. Some people will be like, oh, money is, it leads to uh too much money is kind of like not a good thing type of experience. That's not the case. It's a tool. Money is a manifestational tool. So like manifestation tools that other teachers teach, if you've heard of vision boards where you take imagery and words and put it on a board and you focus on it and feel into what you want, you're kind of telling the universe what you desire. Actually, let me write that down so I don't forget to talk about letters. Um, what you're telling the universe what you desire. And the idea is creating a story, a narrative that you want to create on a vision board to explain to the universe. Whether you're doing that or using a meditation or using affirmations where you're speaking what you want to be and what you want to experience in the future, those are all manifestation tools. Money is another manifestation tool. It's not a form of abundance. It's a tool that we use in our experience to manifest and create the things that we're looking to create. That's all. It's just another tool. So there's no really like benevolence to it or malevolence. Now, the system itself, which I'll talk about a little bit later, the system itself is kind of tailored towards controlling people and keeping people in spaces that are not of the necessarily the highest good, but money at its core is meant to be a tool that we use. So I had to start, as I went on this journey, I had to start redefining my idea of abundance. And that's where the Lyrans came in. That's where some of my other guides who were before them, for my experience, I often have guides switching in and out based on what they're trying to teach or expand my energy for. And Atreyu's been around probably the longest as we really shift the experience of what it meant to be abundant in my life. And abundance came down to many things. They started bringing this awareness that the teachers showing the money, showing the wealth, showing the cars, the houses, the things that people want. They're like, first of all, is that authentic to you? I had to sit down and really start thinking, is that really what I wanted? Did I want the stuff? Did I want the things, the perception of wealth, all of that? And I started to realize, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted something much simpler. And what I find with most people that I work with is they want something simpler too. We're programmed to think that we want the house, we want the car. But really, when it comes down to it, I saw somebody in the community post the other day that they wanted a Porsche. They deserved a Porsche. They wanted a Porsche, and I'm like, that's great, but ask yourself when we're thinking about these things: is it the Porsche that you want? Porsche? It might be Porsche when it's pronounced properly, but is it that car that you want, or is it that you just want a reliable car that looks nice, is new, it has some features and comfort? There's a level of defining the authenticity of the experience for us as individuals. So we have to come into a space to figure out what is the abundance, what are the things we're trying to manifest in our experience, because what other people want and what they're telling us to build is not our experience. It's not our individual way of creation. A lot of the manifestation teachers are teaching people build wealth, build wealth, build wealth. Most of the people I run into aren't looking to build wealth, but we're programmed to think build wealth. We're programmed to look at a bank account. We're programmed to look at credit scores and financial statistics and how much money is in your bank, how much retirement do we have, all of this. There's a lot of deprogramming around wealth to understand most of us don't actually want that wealth. Wealth makes things easier. It makes it easier for us to do things. It makes it easier for us to achieve different things. but it doesn't achieve true abundance. This idea of true abundance, which is abundance in all areas of our life, all areas of our experience. And that's just not just money. Money, again, is it's energy pulled out of our field that is brought into the physical. It's like energy released into the physical field or physical world, an experience for us to exchange with each other. But most people don't realize their energy field has the capacity to manifest and bring abundance in a multitude of different ways. So we start defining what is abundance to us. Well, most people are going to want an abundance of joy, laughter, friends, family, love, food, uh, shelter, clothing, land to use, entertainment, creativity. There's all of these things that we have abundant energy we're putting in. And I was doing one of these activations one time, and there was a woman who had they were struggling with money, but she was talking about like thank you, because it shifting from the money mindset of the struggle for money to understanding that she had an abundance of family, huge family. I forget how big her family was, but she had a huge family, lots of love, lots of joy, lots of experience there. And I was like, that's where your abundance lies right now. Don't worry about the money. Money is just energy unlocked in the physical world, and we're programmed to focus on, oh, that's the truth of it. That's not it. That's just physical stuff. That's outside of us. That's not even part of our experience most of the time. It's a tool to build experience, but our abundance is truly in the things that cannot really be brought into a 3D experience, which is just one second here. I can feel Atreyu tapping in more. Those are things in the 3D experience, things that are good for, building shelter, we exchange money. I exchanged money to build this space. I exchange money for food. I exchange money for DVDs to keep me entertained, or tools for outside. It's all tools that we're using the money for. And when we step back and go, what is true abundance? And we start thinking, oh, health is a big one. The health of your immune system, the food you can eat that is healthy, the joy you have, the creative energy, the emotional health, the good emotional health, good just the four categories I usually talk about are mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. Having a good alignment in all of those areas, an abundant alignment of health and activity in all of those areas. It's abundance isn't just the bank account. And that was a big thing not a big thing. It was a difficult thing for me to get through, because of how we're programmed for monetary energy, for that exchange of energy. And as we were doing this, they started bringing up things in my life that I had created with ease, manifested with ease. There were many things over the years where I just believed, knew, and felt I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this thing, and it's going to, accelerate my experience. And the one thing I always think about are vehicles. Up until I was 35, I never paid for a vehicle until I was 35. And that's when I bought the Subaru, which I still have. And what would happen is I would get a vehicle, and this was kind of a benefit of just the family unit and stuff, but I would get a vehicle, and then I would sit there, and it would get to a point where it was getting older. And in my mind, I would go, I'm going to go buy a vehicle, planning on like buying a vehicle, like actually buying a vehicle, and knowing I was going to receive a vehicle. It was going to be, an easy process, all of this stuff. I just knew I would have a vehicle. And then a week later, 2 weeks later, my mom, my brother, somebody would call me up and be like, hey, I'm getting rid of my car. Do you want it? like I'm gonna go get another car. My mom would trade hers in, and we got into this habit of